Sport friends, there's a new trend that started recently in the gaming industry, and it's this curious blend of cooking meets roguelite adventure. The idea that you need to go out and forage or fight for your customers' dinners is a hilarious one, but also likely highly accurate to old times. While it's probable the tavern masters employed hunters rather than fetching it themselves, in this next title, we'll be the ones facing defeat in the eyes of a giant angry chicken and hoping he doesn't steal all of our spoils as he pecks our eyes out so that we can still serve a hot dinner. Hi, my name's Lil, and this is my review of Cuisineer. For those who haven't come across this one yet, it's an adorable life sim, management simulator, meets dungeon crawling roguelite. You play as an adorable cat named Pom, and it's your job to restore your family's restaurant to its former glory. It's not going to be so easy though, as Mom and Dad left you a lot of debt prior to hightailing it off to their own grand adventure. But that's okay, because the whole town has your back and plans to help you out. Or send you on the 5th adventure this week because in reality, you're the best adventurer meets errand girl around. It's not without reward though, as by fulfilling their quests, you'll be granted more and more recipes to turn your little wood shack at the beginning into a grand dining hall by the end of it. That might sound like a simple feat when smudged together into one sentence, but it's not, considering you'll have over $82,000 in debt to pay off while attempting to run your restaurant and upgrade it too. Thankfully, the tax office has a ton of faith in you, so don't expect there to be actual deadlines. At least, not that I've found so far. Instead, the game rewards you for paying off these debts by offering you new zones. Each time you complete a debt, you'll get a nice slice of story that I won't ruin, and the reward of new enemies to beat up in a fresh new dungeon. So if you find yourself getting bored of the first ones, just know that paying off that debt starts looking a little bit sweeter by run 10 through the Hellfire. I will say that in terms of upgrading my weapons, which we'll get to in a second, the restaurant and paying off debts, nothing felt out of balance. I found plenty of funds to get my place spruced up and my bags expanded, all while paying a steady flow of coins to the tax office. I can admit that I avoided the fancy expensive seating until my debts were paid, but my customers didn't complain, so no one seemed the wiser. What they did seem to notice though was my fame level. Every day you open up shop, and every dish you serve, you'll earn fame points. The higher your fame level, the more items will be available in the woodworker shop, and the more quests your town friends will send you on. Once you upgrade your workstations to support tier 2 and 3 recipes, well, that's when the big bucks start rolling in. So don't forget to splurge on some nice frying pans, rather than using the old rock you found on floor 1 of the dungeon. Your customers will thank you for it, trust me. Speaking of NPCs and customers, let's talk about them for a moment. From a towering woodworker whose character art doesn't fit on the screen, to 2 boba twins with very different taste buds. All the characters are filled with charm, and the art is gorgeous to match. I also found the music and ambiance of the entire game to be a delight, so an A for audio. I can't express how important visuals and audio are to me in a game, as at the end of the day, if it hurts to look at and listen to, I can't move forward through it. But Cuisineer offers that cozy vibe even when facing brutal chickens in the dungeon. Touching on the dungeons themselves, they're actually a decent challenge. Most of it is just well-timed dodging, yet a lot of it has to do with upgrading your gear and getting certain affixes that mesh well, in order to deal that massive damage. For example, my gloves, boots, and weapon all dealt either ice or fire damage. One affix made it so that my dash froze enemies, while the other made a fire patch on the ground. I could quite literally spam my dash through mobs and kill off the little ones with just my AoE effects. But for when that didn't finish the job, I'd throw an array of plates at their faces, then come slam them with my wet fish sword. That's not a joke. The fish was my weapon of choice, and I don't care how hilarious it is, it got the job done. Besides, the customers learned to get over the fishy smell on their food ages ago, so no harm there. If you manage to make it a few levels down, you'll find some arena rooms that spawn multiple waves of enemies, or you'll find the giant chicken I'm referencing and take him on beak first. I didn't find him to be too much of a challenge, considering I could just dash back and forth right next to him and burst him down pretty fast. But my confidence led me to lose my entire inventory when I came across the first boss in the lava dungeon, so don't get too cocky after facing the chicken. Admittedly, I have yet to clear past level 4 of any of the dungeons, but I put upgrading my weapons and gear on the lowest priority, and while my pack that could hold 4 boba teas and keep me healthy was upgraded to maximum, the small amounts of damage increase that comes from upgrading your gear seemed a little pointless. I will say that it's probably not. As I started boosting my items towards the end, things got easier, so it'll be up to you if you want to rush getting your debts paid off and your restaurant upgraded for easier income, or invest in your gear to get as deep into the dungeons as you can first. Kudos to them for offering both playstyles, though. I want to quickly compliment Cuisineer, as honestly, I felt the whole game to be pretty balanced. The restaurant running was simple, yet busy enough to keep me engaged, and the dungeons were hard enough to present a challenge and purpose to continue grinding. Top it all off with the cozy art and music? Well, let's just say that even as a boar was slamming into my face, I was having a good time. Now, it wouldn't be us if we didn't have some form of criticism, and to that, I'll say that the game can absolutely be repetitive. If you're not a fan of the roguelike or light genres, then the idea of waking up and running a restaurant or climbing through a dungeon for the 50th time probably won't be appealing. Yes, it's a cozy game, but it can still be quite a challenge if you're like me and somewhat uncoordinated in small game spaces. It's not unlikely that you'll find yourself face down in a dungeon with no loot to take home on occasion. This is exactly how roguelikes work, so if that's new knowledge to you, consider that your proper warning. But to those who are fans of the genre, then you'll find a fantastic blend of cozy and cute in this, while still being able to hunt down the big bads that'll keep you pumped with adrenaline even 8 hours in. Other than that, I ran into no bugs and had a seamless experience with Cuisineer. The animations are simple, and the upgrade system can feel limited compared to some roguelikes, but the combination of affixes mixed with upgrading items is still impressive. You can go for a close-up heavy attack build, a more ranged dash and throw bomb style build, or an up-close quick attack build with great movement, which is what I opted in for. The idea that you aren't limited to one playstyle and can still mix and match your affixes to create some deadly combinations is pretty cool, so kudos to them for that. It's at this point that I'll say that Cuisineer has absolutely earned our Pillow Fort stamp of approval. I've had a blast with it, and there's still some stuff to unlock even after paying off all your debts. And a new challenge to take on too as a chef, so let that be a surprise for you if you decide to play. We want to thank the Cuisineer team for allowing us a review copy of this one. We watched it for months during its development and are excited with what we were presented in the final release. Make sure you tell us your own thoughts of the game in the comments, and leave a like if you enjoyed. Also, don't forget to subscribe if you love learning about games, as it's the most free way to ensure we can keep doing it. Thanks as always for watching, and until next time.